Hello, everyone. This is Jamarl Thomas, host of the Progressive Soapbox. This is Man on the Street today. I am at a rest stop. My wife, let's see if I can get a better thing. There we are. My wife and I we're going to her dad's house for Father's Day. She hasn't seen him, or she hasn't been to his house in like 30, 20 years or something, some odd number. So I'm with her. But I wanted to talk about the results of the drawing. The DNC drawing finally came out. So we're finally getting an idea of who's going to be on that debate stage, who's going to be going at it. And, they tried to make it not be a B league, meaning they tried to have it where it wasn't like you had A league and B league and you had the B table and the kiddie table and stuff like that. And despite not to do that, despite doing their damnedest not to do that, that's essentially how it ended up anyway. Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden are going to share stage. And think about it, they're probably most likely going to share stage to some degree anyway, they have a high percentage. But for those 2 nights, that's not true. There was 20 people in that race, by half and half, whatever that number is. But it's going to be somewhat lopsided. So on the second night, Sanders and Biden are going to go at it. On the first night, Elizabeth Warren is going to be on the stage. Let me give you a heads up on the debate things, who's going to be on what, and I'm just going to read it because it's short. The lineup was set on Friday for back-to-back Democratic presidential debates later this month after a lopsided drawing that placed most of the top candidates on the second night that is shaping up to be a marquee event. The second night will feature former Vice President Joe Biden and Senator Bernie Sanders, the 2 leading candidates in early polling. Elizabeth Warren, who has surged in recent state and national polls, is the biggest draw of the first night, which could work to her benefit. And that's true. If Elizabeth Warren is the biggest draw, that could work to her benefit or detriment. She could either show out in that debate or not so much, especially if she's looking much better than some of the other people that's in the race. Meaning, if she could show herself to be somewhat distant, the tallest short person is still the tallest short person. So I would imagine that may get her a little bit more viewpoints. But we'll see. It's sometimes this stuff is up in the air. And in the same way it's hers to win, it's also hers to lose on those type of nights. All right, so let's go into who's on who. Which could work to benefit by allowing her to stand out. But it could also lack the drama and televised rating, yes. It could also provide other candidates that night, such as Beto, Booker, Klobuchar, to break through. Let me see, I'm trying to find the lineups. Supposedly these were randomized. Let's see. The debates on June 26th and 27th in Miami, again, the end of this month. I'm trying to get the exact people who are going to be on what night. They're giving me a lot of information that I don't care about. All right, on stage for the second night, Gillibrand. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry, guys. I want something very basic. And as I'm going through this article, I'm getting everything but the very basic thing that I want. On stage for the second night will be Bennett, Hickenlooper, Swalwell, spiritual guru Marianne Williamson, and Andrew Yang. The group debating on the first night will include Warren, Booker, Klobuchar, O'Rourke, Julianne Castro, Bill de Blasio, John Delaney, Tulsi Gabbard, Jay Inslee, and Tim Ryan. All right, so we'll see how that's going to turn out. At the very least, you know who on what stage. And just to read it one more time, just so we're very clear. All right, so the first night. All right, so the first night will be Warren, Booker, Klobuchar, O'Rourke, Castro, Julianne Castro, Bill de Blasio, John Delaney, Tulsi Gabbard, Jay Inslee, and Tim Ryan. For the second night will be Bennett, Hickenlooper, Swalwell, Marianne Williamson, Andrew Yang, Joe Biden, and one independent senator from Vermont that's running as a Democrat, one Mr. Bernie Sanders. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. I would have probably a much larger show on this when I get back. I mean, this is going to be like a 10-hour drive. But But stay tuned. I'm going to keep track of the debates, and I'm going to try to carry the debates when they have them. I carried Bernie Sanders' speech, but that speech got hit with a copyright violation, in which case I put that speech down, and I'm just going to do a version of that speech, or an aspect of it, just talking about an aspect of it. At this point, people are talking about it to death, so I don't necessarily want to go there. But if you guys enjoyed the content, please feel free to share, like, subscribe. You can always support through PayPal or Patreon. These debates should be extraordinarily interesting. It's true that Biden and Sanders are in the second one, but I disagree with them. I still say that the person to beat in this, or the person that's the most threat, is Elizabeth Warren. Putting Elizabeth Warren in that first night under that model means that the biggest heavy hitters are not all loaded on one night. It is split up over 2 nights. Joe Biden is going to flame out. Maybe we'll see it in this debate. Maybe we'll see it in the subsequent debates to come. I strongly suggest that Joe Biden will flame out. I could be wrong on this. This is me doing a certain degree of prognostication, in which case I think Elizabeth Warren is the threat. Could be wrong. Could be totally wrong, but we'll see. Under that model, though, then it's not all of the heavy hitters on one night. Having Elizabeth Warren on stage that first night, I think, has more significance than I think these guys are giving credit for it. They cast this as lopsided. They cast it as lopsided because they still consider Joe Biden as being the guy to beat. They believe that his level of electability, only because he was part of the Obama administration, missing the point that Joe Biden has a 40-year track record and been running for president for like 40 years and could never get into office. There's a reason for it. It's not that this is just going to magically happen now. But hey, you never know. Maybe it's his turn. Maybe it's his turn. I would love for Grail to be in those debates, by the way. I would love for it. Let me end this here because we have to get back on the road. But if you guys enjoy the content, please feel free to share, like, subscribe. You can always support through PayPal or Patreon. They are decimating these channels, so definitely consider helping. I'll talk about this a little bit more in a fuller way. I also want to get onto the Iran thing, and I'm chomping at the bit to talk about that because that video is absurd. Like, when people started analyzing the video, and people started asking questions about it, and there's a certain degree of skepticism across the world over this. And the basic thing is, are you telling me that Iran took the time to go up to a tanker and pull it down a bomb? Like, it's a ludicrous proposition. Utterly ludicrous proposition. But we'll see how the media goes with it. They hate Trump. And so that may be that quiver, the arrow in the quiver for them to have a little bit of skepticism on this narrative that the U.S. was putting forth. So, but we'll see. If you guys enjoy it, please consider